Hello guys, this is our weekly 10 assignment. Let's get started.
Okay, so first question. So let's talk about from the inmate's point of view first. Before the Barred Prison Initiative was carried out, for prisoners, printing is definitely a negative experience. Just as what is said, if prisons are supposed to be finely tuned instruments of punishment, they succeeded 100% of the time. But after the success of Barred Prison Initiative, the experience would tend to shift to the positive part. The program is to help them get back to society, restore a normal life, and get a real college education. Among the BPI alumni, the recidivism rate is just 2%. Moreover, the win against Harvard makes the people and the supportive politicians and the corrections professionals believe that education is the purest form of rehabilitation. If recidivism rates are used to measure success, then BPA is definitely successful. Okay, then two, Part A, Pell Grants, which is the federal government's primary source of need-based aid for low-income college students, and pay for the prison education fees. But in 1990s, many people started to believe that Pell Grant for incarcerated individuals was taking away funds from students at traditional college campus. So legislation reinforced the idea of prison as a place of punishment rather than rehabilitation. The 1994 Crime Bill amended the Higher Education Act to ban incarcerated adults from receiving Pell Grants to pay for college programs. This legislation reinforced the idea of prison as a place of punishment rather than rehabilitation. Part B, in 1990s, within a year of the crime bill's passage, participation in college and prison programs decreased by 44%. Even today's state fund is still low. It's far better than the past. Tetra, who is a prison member of the debate team which defeated Harvard, spoke about how the documentary helped portray his success story about BPI, as many people believe that prison was a positive experience for him. Part C. So now about 50,000 people are currently incarcerated in New York State, and about $275 million was spent on criminal justice in the New York State last year. If put it in per inmate terms per year, $5,500 was spent for each person. Part D, if the prison population would be halved, it will save $137 million. And $150 of the state have to spend if it provide each incarcerated person a Pell Grant equivalent amount of resources to pursue an education each year. Okay, if you guys do not have any other comments, that's the end of question 1 and 2.
Okay, this is Xiao, and I'm gonna go through question 3 and 4. My grading tier's name is Garbage, and for question 3, in the college behind bars, there are some incarcerated men and women who find rehabilitation and hope. In my view, this is a fresh study atmosphere, and that students accepted to the program take classes in prison taught by Bard College faculty and using the same materials and meeting the same standards as students on the college behind the main campus. And I think Princeton is not an easy place to get an education. Like their education is that space can be interrupted in all types of different ways at any time of day, and there are bells and comes. They have to go back to their cells, so there are a lot of things that impede their education in that space, and probably evaluate the quality and make suitable comparisons. Such knowledge only enhance appreciation for the way that creative work can. So I think the attraction to education may be that these people are in prison, and the experience of college must be different for these prisoners than it is in today's society. And I think it's amazing that these prisoners can study and pay attention under such high stress. So this is an example of a very good educational model that is missing in today's society. Any thoughts?
Um, I believe one of the reasons that they had to focus so hard is the discipline that they had in this program is so that they could focus on the work and get the work done in a place where there is a lot of stress, pressure, and distractions. For example, putting an accurate place on sacred object demands education and training. Mm.
Yeah, good point. So I'm gonna move on for question 4. Those developments empower incarcerated students to be like, as Rodney said, civic beings. And this is the promise of a liberal education. It connects them to humanity. And I think what College Behind Bars suggests is the power of education. Liberal education sets the course toward flourishing by inviting them to partake of their cultural inheritance of ideas handed down through the generations, by interrogating the forces that shape the world and the individuals within it, and by considering the stories that help us make sense of it all. And I think these students who are in prison want to live a better life and establish their healthy values. There's a lot of untapped potential in the United States for these liberal education systems that are similar to those that are in prison. So personally, I think the university education can also take this liberal education as the benchmark and implement the concept of people-oriented education rather than the consistent and unchanging education system. Any ideas?
Yes. So there's one initiative graduate student in the BARD system said, "My education trained me to think critically, to challenge conventional wisdom, to spot inconsistencies, to integrate my own opinions and ideas. Personally, for their crimes, the students of the BARD Prison Initiative have lost their liberty and been removed from civil society. But through a liberal arts education, they have developed new relationships with history and philosophy, figures living and dead, and the agency required to reform conclusions of their own."
Okay, I'm finished.
Okay, this is Xinyu Su. My grading tier is Ryan. I will go through 5 to 6. The question number 5. The goal of the BPI program is that they have career in the human service and contribute to their communities. If BPI teach them useful skill, can it achievement the goals of the PDF program? I don't think it will work. Um, what prisoners need is no useful skill, but the freedom of thoughts. I think the freedom of thoughts is that you know what you can do, but no do whatever you want. I think library arts is to cultivate students' thinking ability. I think this kind of ability can make people look for what they want instead of roles their life. Learning with thoughts thought is labor roles. Thoughts without learning is pre-roles. This is a famous thing of the ancient Chinese philosopher Confucius. And I feel that prisoners need this kind of thinking ability more than normal people. Any thoughts?
I think liberal arts should be learned by everyone, but some people have not learned it. So according to statistics, there is a significant statistical relationship between education level and crime rate. BPI wants to change something fundamental to improve the lives of prisoners, not through useful skills.
Yeah, you are right. Question number 6. I think it is education, and BPI played the role is education provider. They provide education to prisoners and teach them revenues. They want to make prison be a place of learning. I think the target of BPI and U of R is different. The target of BPI's education is prisoners, and the target of UR education is a normal student. The goals of BPI is giving prisoner a chance to have the education and give them a glimmer of hope. And you of ours revenue for our education are EQ, leadership, openness, respect, and accountability. BPI wants more people to have education. However, I believe that they have essentially the same, because both UR and BPI are making students solve free time and martyring. Okay, this all answer about question number 5 and question number 6.
I'll continue from question 7. I'm Lai Jiang. My grading TA is Xinyu Su. Now I'm going to start share my screen. Can you see it?
Yeah, you could.
Yeah.
In this table, I list all the general total funds, real total funds in the New York State, and the total other state funds in New York State from 1991 to 2020. And I convert this data to a graph. You can see the graph here. And from this graph, I found that the real total general funds reached its maximum at 2020 and its minimum at 1997. The real total other state funds reached its maximum at 2012 and its minimum at 1993. The real total general funds and real total other state funds are constantly changing. The real total general funds are always larger than the other state funds. Do you have any other findings?
Yeah, the real total general funds and the real total other states fund are positively related.
Yeah, I agree with you. I will go to question 8. In question 8, I list this table. In this table, I write about the state general funds for correction and the state allowances for correction. In this list, you can see that the state general funds for correction is always 0 from 1991 to 2020. And in this list, you can see that the state other funds for correction reach its peak at 2019 and reaches its minimum from 2007 to 2014, which is here. You can see that the numbers are all 0. And I converted to the graph here. Can you see any other patterns?
Yes. State other funds for correction if constantly changing.
Yeah, I agree with you. For question 9, I think if we add other expenditures to question 8's expenditures, the total expenditures will increase in number, but each year will be similar. I'm done.
My name is Keqi Dai, and my grading TA is L, and I need to share my screen. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. After calculating the total spending from the year 1991 to 2020, I came up with the following chart. The chart shows the capital spending for K-12 education was 0 until the year 2016. For the higher education capital spending, which is the red part in the chart, the amount is increasing every year. For correction spending, the amount of spending did not change as the year increase. It's always stay in the range from 900 to 2300. The transportation spending, which is purple, it's increase every year from over 22,000 in 1990 to over 80,000 in 2020. The cash welfare does not have a big change. It stays in the range from 14,000 to 22,000. And medical spending, which is the orange, it's the largest part of spending from all the categories. It starts with over 76,000 in 1991, and in 2020, the spend goes up to over 640,000, which is a huge increase. And the next charts are the other chart of total amount spending change every year for 3 decades. The rows are sorted from largest to the smallest. From year 1991 to 2000, the year 1991 has the largest change in spending, which is over 30,000, and the year 1995 has the lowest, which is 5,300. From the year 2001 to 2010, the year 2008 has the largest change. The total spending amount changes over 42,000, and the year 2007 has the lowest, that is 2,313. From the year 2011 to the year 2020, the year 2014 has the biggest change from over 58,000 in total spending, and the year 2011 has the lowest, which is negative 8,540. That's it.